Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining me again. This is going to be our last interview for this week, and I'd like to introduce a good friend of mine and a proud Murray and Torres Strait man, Robbie Crowther. Before we hear from Robbie today, I would like to pay respects to the traditional custodians of the land that we're on and pay respects to Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people that are listening to us at home today. I pay respects to elders both past, present and emerging, and I celebrate the rich diversity we have across the country and our continuing connection to land, water and sea. So now I'd like to introduce you to Robbie Crowther, proud Australian representative, both world champs, Commonwealth Games and a world junior champion, and a proud Murray man and a proud Torres Strait man. Robbie, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good, thanks, Kyle. Yourself?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. Good to see you on NAIDOC week this week.
Yeah, it's a blessing, isn't it? This week, we cherish these weeks.
So, Robbie, being NAIDOC week, mate, what does NAIDOC mean to you?
Obviously, it's everyone getting together during the week and paying respects to our elders, past and present, and then obviously everyone connecting together. And it's just something that we are so proud of, our heritage. Both cultures, both Indigenous and Torres Strait, and just learning the historic of the Indigenous culture, and getting it out there and getting everyone non-Indigenous as well and other backgrounds just to come together and learn about the history. And I'm passionate about my culture and coming from a little town, Cloncurry, as a Murray, and not really growing up with all the cultures and all that kind of stuff. So it's something I learn every day as I get older, and then obviously you go do NAIDOC week and NAIDOC awards, and it means a lot. And I've won a NAIDOC award back in the day, so it's something that sticks with us, and I'm proud of what this week holds and what other sports get involved with it as well.
And you mentioned your journey to discover more about your Aboriginality, but it's not just your discovery. Your whole family has been on a journey to, trace back their origins. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah, it was quite a bit of a shock to us, to be honest. Not knowing Mum being Torres Strait as well, and obviously her real dad passed away, I think, when she was about 3. So she told us when I think I was about 15 at the time, and we went up to Cairns for an unveiling, which is unveiling the tombstone, where they have someone that's passed away and they unveil it 5 years later to let them rest a bit easier. So that was a culture shock to me. Dancing, everyone cooking up nice feed, and everyone talking Creo, and growing up, something that I've wanted to do, learn. The Indigenous way is a little bit different and it's a little bit harder, but the Torres Strait side of things, it would have been good to learn. And every time I go back to Cairns, I always try and catch up with the aunties and the cousins and just try and learn a little bit more and more. And I really want to get up to the Torres Strait at some point in my life, and obviously show the kids as well, and my partner, and show that side of the Torres Strait culture.
Fantastic, mate. Yeah, they definitely know how to celebrate and dance, and I've got good Torres Strait friends that have told me about the unveilings, and a lot of colour, a lot of dance, a lot of celebration.
Beautiful, mate. Yeah, it's they all wear their colours, each island, and then the dancing is something that I'll never forget. When that night that we were there, and no drinking, no nothing, just pure. So something that I'll never forget. Once I found out, when we went to Cairns and did all that, meet the new aunties and uncles and the family that I never knew, that just keep growing.
How did you get involved with athletics? If we go right back to the start.
Yeah, to be honest, it was just through school carnivals. Every athletics carnival, you got your team, your Tumbarumba or Warning or something, there'd be a name there. And that was the whole joy of it, that day of track and field or athletics or, your swimming carnivals. But, athletics day was a big day, and it was a good day. And I never knew back then. I knew I had speed and everything, but never knew how to jump. And I think at the time, the Bluff Bluff School had a little sand pit, so I jumped out of it and they had to extend it. So that was quite funny. And Dad was part of the groundsman at the time, looking after the school with others as well, and also doing his other work. So he was just doing the volunteering work. And they ended up making it a little bit bigger, and which is quite funny. But yeah, each year it was just athletic carnival, and then we joined a little athletics. I only joined that for probably about a year, and then I just kept creeping, and I was always just jumping with bare foot. I never knew what spikes were.
Robbie, did long jump find you, or did you discover long jump? Which way did it all happen?
I think I discovered long jump because that's what I made the Queensland team for that in year 7, I think it was. So and that's what I was good at, and I obviously ran Dad in 100 and 200, but I never made Queensland for those kind of things, and I never trained, never had any of that. But yeah, like I said, I used to wear tape on my feet, and I got given, I think Dad and Mum ended up buying a pair of spikes for me, and it went from there pretty much. And it was just every year I'd go to athletics track and make a team, make Capricornia or North Queensland, and then I only made Queensland 3 times. So there was years there that I didn't make it, which is totally fine. But I improved, and it wasn't until I got noticed by Craig and another coach, Gary Cairns in Townsville, in 2004. He said there's this young kid from Bowen who was a triple jumper. He jumped 1450, but he said he could jump 15 metres easy with training. And then the long jump, the same thing. He's like, he's just got natural talent. And I think that's what you see when you go out to all these other little places. When I go out and do those Indigenous for the Outback. So yeah. And
looking back now, who inspired you, Robbie? Was there anyone you looked up to as an Indigenous athlete? Did you look up to anyone?
Obviously, Mum and Dad. Like I heard Mum's stories when she was young. She's only she'd be up to just below my shoulders at height, and she was jumping at height when she was younger. She was playing rugby league. She was a touch football player. She was an absolute star. And then also my uncles and that as well. My uncles had, maybe a scholarship with the Broncos and that, but he never got out of Cloncurry. And you hear these different stories. So yeah, it's one of those things. I'd probably say my mum more than anything.
Yeah. So you really noticed that your family had the talent, and when you were gifted with that, you thought, should I do something with this? Is that what went through your mind, or?
Yeah, kind of. I wanted to just play rugby league, to be honest, and do my apprenticeship in Chippy as a builder. But like 2004, when Craig come out to Townsville and noticed me and did a talent ID. It changed from there pretty much, and Dad said, just give it a go, you get to travel the world and see different things. And I went down there for a week's worth of training, and no training background. I couldn't run 60 metres flat out because I didn't know what was going on. So it was just one of those environments and one of those real shock change things. And then I went down there for a week, went to all schools the week after, did a metre PB in the triple and then 30 centimetre PB in the long. And that's when Craig said, we'll get you down to Canberra on a 4-month trial scholarship, and did that. Went to Townsville, back home for a month or so, and then did another PB. And then that's when Craig and Tudor and Ditto as well said, look, we're going to put you on scholarship, and that's where it started.
And from that moment, went fast forward to World Juniors, getting a gold medal. How long was that period?
So I went down in 2005, started 2005, trained through that whole year, qualified for the Melbourne Com Games, but obviously didn't get the top 3. And then Craig said, look, you got World Juniors this year. And I didn't know, I never knew World Juniors existed. I never knew World Youth existed. And he said, look, World Juniors is in Beijing. It's in August, in a couple months' time after Melbourne. And he said, look, mate, let's just train for that. You're in good contentions. I think you're a second favourite at the time, or third favourite behind Chris Noski. So it was one of those things. And I happened to have a little accident before, I think it was about 2 months leading out. I was running to the gym and I fell down the stairs and tore most of my ligaments in my ankle. And I thought World Juniors was gone, but I got to the physio, had the scan, and then just stuck to the 24-day rehab program. And I got back pretty quick, and I was pretty fast healer, so I was quite lucky there. And then went over and went to Beijing. That was my first overseas trip.
You mentioned the talent that you see out in the communities, and what's some of the things that you've seen out there, and what's some of the highlights, and what inspires you to do this work with Indigenous talent?
Yeah, I first got involved with athletics in the Outback, I think, around 2012, and they held a camp in Melbourne, and then they did all the Outback stuff as well through up in the NT and then all that. So I really enjoy getting out and giving back to the sport, and just going out there and talking to the kids. Like I try. I don't run the sessions as much as what I would like to do, but I like to get involved and show them that there is something out there that's a little bit different, from home. When we're not doing the sessions and that what they're eating, and sport can definitely take you to a new country, even if it's not athletics. It could be AFL, which they all love, and all other football codes. But the fundamentals of athletics, and that's what we do out there, is run, jump, and throw. The fundamentals of athletics is all we use in all those codes of football, soccer, AFL, NRL. So it's something that we can learn, teach them. Just the normal running technique, some drills, and just try and I just try and get through to them, and just tell them stay in school, and just try and find a way that you can stay in school and do the right thing. I think that's what I get out of it, and that's what I try and provide in that space. I do try and run the sessions every now and then, but there's a lot more experienced people that run those sessions, and I'll probably do a lot more better than what I would do. But I stick and try and push the kids, and not to be shame or shy or anything like that. It's just good to actually see them have a smile and have a bit of fun.
Well, mate, let me say I've been out there and I've seen you relate to the kids, and you relate really well. And I think, for me, do they relate to you and your story? Do they ask you about your journey?
Yeah, some do, and obviously some go, you look like you're from China or Thailand or something like that. So it's always a bit of a laugh. And I said, no, I'm an Indigenous person and Torres Strait. So it can be funny at times, and I get along really well with them. But yeah, it's I can definitely relate, and it's good to talk to the kids and just try and tell them what I've gone through. Like it's not all it's not all sweet. There's a bit of dark stories behind, and with depression and all that, but and hard times and how hard it is. You turn up every day training, and then doing the right thing. Not drinking, no juice, no coke, none of that kind of stuff. So it's a culture shock for them, but they like listening, and it's good to. And you tell them your PB, and they're like 8 meters, and you measure it out, and they're like, no, that can't be right. That's too far. Yeah. I said, no, it's correct.
That's what I've done.
Yeah.
Yeah, Robbie, it's been great to see you turning to become a dad in the last number of years, and tell us what that's been like to become a dad, but also, what's your dreams and aspirations for your son as far as getting his pride in his culture and his Aboriginality?
Yeah, look, it's definitely a massive game changer, and it's something that no one, like when your son's born, it's such a different feeling. The emotions that you go through. It's I may have won a world juniors and stuff like that, but it's totally different to that, and it's such. I think it probably tops it, to be honest. You've got a child, and I'm not shy. I get him to wear the Indigenous flag shirt his daycare. So, there was times there where I was like, I'm a bit shy to actually, go out and wear that. What the looks that we're going to get, kind of thing. So, I've grown out of that, and I want him to actually learn as he gets older, and my new daughter now too as well. So, if I can definitely, try and get them to learn a little bit more about the culture, and then also try and get them into that Torres Strait side of things as well, up in Cairns, and get them up there to do the dance, and try and get them and learn myself about the Creo as well. So, and then obviously I don't know where he's going to go, what sport he's going to go to, and you know, he loves kicking the football, and he's got a good kick on him. He takes everything in here. He just he watches me and analyses me, which is unbelievably good. And then he's got the smarts of his mum, so which is a good blend. Phoenix, he turns 3 next year in Feb, and then Cleo, she's 6 months now, and yeah, she's a little darling. I hold her pretty close to myself. Like the little fella is, but you know, I don't know, something about the little girl. So yeah, it's good.
Fantastic, mate. Congratulations on becoming a dad and everything you've done in your career, and you know, the role model that you've been for our people, young people. You know, it's been good, and I'm so glad to see you've moved on to that next chapter in your life.
Yeah, thanks, Kyle. It's been an amazing chapter. It's definitely took a lot of pressure from the sporting side of things, but I wouldn't change it for the world. And you know, I can't look back and say I've missed this or missed that. I've done some great things, and I can never turn that down.